The USS Gerald R. Ford cost $13 billion to build. It carries 80 aircraft, 5,000 sailors, the most advanced weapons system ever put to sea. And according to classified Pentagon war games, it wouldn't survive the first 72 hours of a conflict with China. This is not speculation. This is the conclusion of 17 separate US military simulations run between 2018 and 2023. The weapon responsible has a name, the DF-21D. And understanding it changes everything you thought you knew about American military power. For 80 years, the aircraft carrier has been the ultimate symbol of American dominance. Wherever there was a crisis, the first question from the White House was always the same. Where are the carriers? Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf, Afghanistan. The carrier battle group was America's answer to every problem on the planet. Here's why. A single carrier strike group isn't just one ship. It's an entire floating air force surrounded by destroyers, submarines, and supply vessels, projecting power within 500 miles of any coastline on Earth. At peak strength, the United States Navy operates 11 of these groups simultaneously. No other country operates more than 2. That dominance shaped the entire post-war world order. American carriers enforced the rules. Everyone else accepted them, until China decided it wouldn't. In the early 2000s, Chinese military strategists faced a specific problem. In any conflict over Taiwan, American carriers would arrive within days. Once they arrived, China's options collapsed. Its air force couldn't reach them. Its surface navy couldn't match them. Its submarines couldn't reliably track them. The carrier wasn't just a military asset. It was a psychological weapon. Its presence alone was enough to end Chinese options before they began. So Chinese strategists asked a different question. What if you didn't have to sink the carrier? What if you just had to make the carrier afraid to come? That single question produced the most dangerous anti-ship weapon ever built. The Dongfeng 21D, NATO designation CSS-5 Mod 4. It is a ballistic missile, but not one designed to hit cities or military bases. It is designed to hit a moving ship in the middle of the ocean, from 1,500 kilometers away. Let that land for a second. No weapon in history has ever reliably done this. Hitting a stationary target with a ballistic missile is hard enough. Hitting a carrier group moving at 30 knots with active countermeasures, surrounded by destroyer screens, that was considered essentially impossible. China made it possible. Here's the DF-21D follows a standard ballistic arc into the upper atmosphere, reaching speeds of Mach 10 on descent. At that speed, no existing ship-based defense system can reliably intercept it. But speed alone isn't the innovation. The innovation is the terminal guidance system. In the final phase of descent, the warhead receives real-time targeting data from Chinese surveillance satellites, over-the-horizon radar networks, and reconnaissance drones tracking the carrier's exact position. The warhead then maneuvers, adjusting its trajectory mid-flight, to hit a moving target the size of 3 football fields. The US Navy has no confirmed counter to this system. Between 2018 and 2023, the Pentagon ran a series of classified war games simulating a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. In scenario after scenario, the results were the same. American carriers, kept outside the DF-21D's 1,500-kilometer envelope, couldn't get close enough to be effective. Pushed inside that envelope to support Taiwan, they were mission killed within hours. In 2023, a senior U.S. Air Force general testified before Congress. He said, and these are his words, that in every simulation run that year, the United States lost. Not struggled, but lost. The DF-21D didn't just change the military equation, It redrew the entire map of where American power can and cannot go. Here's what this means beyond the hardware. The carrier was never just a weapons platform. It was the physical expression of American willingness to show up, anywhere, anytime. That willingness deterred wars. It ended crises before they started. It kept sea lanes open. It kept allies confident. If the carrier can no longer operate freely inside the first island chain, that deterrence evaporates, not just against China, against every actor watching to see how far American reach actually extends. Russia is watching, Iran is watching, North Korea is watching. The DF-21D didn't just threaten a ship, it threatened the entire architecture of American-led global order that has existed since 1945. And the US Navy, for the first time in 80 years, doesn't have a clean answer. The $13 billion carrier isn't obsolete yet, but it is no longer invincible. And in military strategy, the moment a weapon loses its invincibility, it loses half its power without firing a single shot. China understood that, and they built exactly the weapon to prove it. This is gray zone intelligence. If this video made you think differently about something you thought you already understood, that's what we're here for. Subscribe, because the next one goes even deeper.